So you basically have triangle for hitting and circle for shelling. Shelling can be done between any attack, allowing you to extend your combo indefinitely. You can also hold circle to do a charge shell, which does a little bit more damage. You can also cancel the lunge attack by pressing circle before it connects, which is nice on spots that are too hard. Pressing circle 3 times will let you go directly into the worm state cannon. Press triangle while guarding to go into a little poke that puts you right back into guard. To get a little bit more damage out of it, put rising slashes in between. Press R2 and circle during any attack to go into a quick reload. You can quick reload whether you have full shells or not. Now the real damage from Gunlance comes from doing the slam and the sweep. If you press circle after the slam, you'll do a full burst, which will unload all of your shelling at once. After the sweep, you'll get the worm state cannon. And of course there's Wyvern Fire, which you press by pressing R2, triangle, and circle at the same time. You can aim it by holding L2 and moving your right analog stick. The slam and sweep can be looped indefinitely by putting a quick reload in between. So after a quick reload, you can press triangle and circle and one more triangle and go into another quick reload. If you want to swing around your Gunlance all day without having to worry about much, I recommend using the Nergigante Gunlance. Has a lot of sharpness and a lot of raw. But if you're more inclined to making explosions, the Rathian Gunlance is hard to beat. The loop is the same, now you're just pressing circle after the slam. Shelling is nice because it does pure damage. No matter where you hit, it'll always do the same amount. The only exception is if you go below green. With yellow sharpness, your shelling damage will go down, and if you go further into the red, you won't be able to shell at all. Here are some of the ways I like to get into the slam. It's also important to note that you're attacking with your Gunlance on your left side, which means for certain attacks, it's going to start from your bottom left and end up to the upper right. Doing a lunging attack on the slope will cause you to slide. Once sliding, you can press triangle to do a jump attack into the air and follow up with either triangle, circle, or R2. What's nice about R2 is that it'll also refill your shelling. Not your worm state cannon though. Here's a fun little loop I like to do, when I can. This is also the fastest way to get into a quick burst, but there are some ledges where it doesn't work. basic idea is to retaliate from guard into one of the big damage loops shown earlier. From there, you figure out what combo to do after certain attacks. And keep track of shelling. After performing an action, you can press back and X to do an even longer backstep. But if you do it from the neutral position, you'll just do a funky U-turn. This is good for getting away from certain attacks like the Teostra Supernova, or for even just moving around and chasing a Diablos. Last, here are some things you can do to some flying enemies, especially ones that are mounted. Don't forget to reload every time. And just in case you forgot, to aim Wyvern's Fire, hold L2 and move your right analog stick. I almost forgot, but probably one of the biggest things I could advise to save you from a lot of carts is that if you think you're gonna slide, just guard. I know a lot of times sliding can be annoying, and against tempered monsters, it'll probably kill you. This is my usual Gunlance setup. Normally people go with Xenojiva gloves and Dober legs, but I chose these pieces because they have more slots, and I have a crit boost gem. Outside of decorations, I wouldn't recommend getting artillery up or capacity up. Feels like a big loss of damage. But what you can do is eat for Feline Bombardier. This'll give your shelling a considerable damage boost. The ×4 means you need 4 of that color of food to activate it. So we're just gonna go down the list looking at what's fresh because that increases your activation rate. And I'm out of fresh things. Everything else, just if it's fresh, really. 200 hours in and I still have no food. So the last part is you cry because it doesn't activate. Wah. Messing around in the training room, I found that there seems to be a sweet spot near the tip of the Gunlance. It's not that big of a damage difference, maybe like 4 to 8, but it might be good to keep in mind. So remember, just the tip.
Oh my.
If you have questions, feel free to comment below, and if you want to see a demonstration, you can check me out on stream on Twitch.
Oh, Canada 1? Wait, no. R2.
Oh.
Let's go.
Holy shit.
Woohoo!
Someone get... the monster like step right here. The pain train. And then there were 2.
What a combo. Okay, I'm putting...
I hear this. Oh shit.
Oh, shit.
Yes! Yes!